So it's finally here, the DJI Osmo Pocket 4. I was so impressed by the previous version and always wondered what's next. I've shot most of everything in D-Log in this video, so I can color grade to my heart's content. The most fun I've ever had on a pocket camera. We're gonna cover what's new, image quality, my video settings, accessories, and how DJI perfected the Osmo Pocket.
Silence louder than it used to be. Pressure sitting right inside of me. I don't know how to turn it off. This weight I carry in my thoughts, every second pulling me under. All the noise just pulls me further. I breathe it in, I hold too long. Somehow the tension feels like home. If I let go, I might lose control. So I keep dancing with the unknown.
Let's start with what's new. The Osmo Pocket 4 is a bit bigger, maybe about 5% bigger than the OP3. And the joystick is updated, and I think it's better and more accurate for controls. And the bottom part of the OP4 feels better to hold as it's slightly extended compared to the OP3. One cool little feature with the Osmo Pocket 4 is that it has focus breathing compensation now. Look at that, it's so smooth. And we're gonna compare it with the Osmo Pocket 3. You see that? Focus breathing. There's no more focus breathing, which is amazing. It's not so distracting anymore. Now, the Osmo Pocket 4 also has two new buttons. One is for the digital zoom, which is a preset for a quick 2x zoom. So from 24mm, we'll have something like a 50mm crop, which leads me to think, when are we getting a 2-camera version like the DJI drones? I was really hoping that the Osmo Pocket 4 would be like the Mavic Air 3 camera or something. I wouldn't mind it getting a little bit bigger, but maybe in the future. People are already speculating it, and let's just hope that there's a new version coming out maybe soon. The other button is a custom button. There's 3 custom settings you can set: single, double, and triple press, and you can set it to any of these options. Every custom button has its own selection though, and I hope they add everything in a firmware update so we can choose anything we want for these custom buttons. There's no more case, but a little magnetic clip for the gimbal if you want to put it on storage. You can leave a filter on with no issues, but the clip is slightly harder to take out. And oh, the filters for the OP3 works perfectly with the OP4. The Osmo Pocket 4 has an option to include a fill light. It goes onto the back of the gimbal and it has a magnet as well, so it holds still in place. There's 3 settings for the brightness and 3 settings for different color temperatures. I'm assuming that the middle is 5600 Kelvin. The best part about this, and what DJI is doing on all of their new devices, is built-in storage. So we don't need to buy an extra memory card, and this one includes a 107GB built-in storage with a transfer speed of 800 megabytes per second. The Creator Combo has a handle extension so you can put the tripod legs, and it has one DJI Mic 3, a wide-angle lens, and this carrying case. Normal, wide angle. Gives you a little bit more. Sensor size is a 1-inch CMOS sensor with a 14-stop dynamic range, which is half a stop better than the OP3. We can actually do 4K 240 if we do really want to shoot in slow motion. But the biggest question is, specs are nice, but in the real world, how much did the image quality improve? Jumping from DLOG-M to D-Log is a pretty good move from DJI. With DLOG-M, I knew that I was limited to a certain push and pull in post, but with D-Log, we get better range and that it's actually a little bit more flexible than DLOG-M. Because now we get the true DJI log file versus DLOG-M, which is just a custom curve to emulate a flat profile. Honestly, the image quality is better than the OP3. There's a greenish cinematic tone to it now, which we can easily correct in post. And if you don't want to edit or color grade or correct, you can shoot in normal color profile, which is a decent improvement from the OP3 as well. But overall, if we look at some footage in the intro and some other test footage here, it's quite well balanced as a pocket camera. Okay, so here's my settings for the Osmo Pocket 4 for video. Swipe up and we'll see the resolution. We'll do 4K, 24 FPS. If you're in Europe and you're in PAL system, then you do 25, and then it's just different frame rates right here. But I like to keep it at 24 frames, so we keep the natural motion blur, and then we swipe back down. Then we turn to the right. From here, we're gonna go hit Pro. Exposure is that we are going to leave it at 1/50th to keep the natural motion blur. And then for the ISO, if you can keep it at 400, this is probably the base ISO, and that we don't have 100 anymore. This is the DLOG base ISO for the OP4. But to keep it simple, we are going to do 400 to 6400. And I've never had issues with it, especially if you see the low light scenes in the intro. This is good enough, and that even if it goes all the way to 6400, the image still looks quite nice, and that especially if people are just viewing your content or your videos on their phones, you're never gonna notice a lot of grain. So we're just gonna keep it at that. And then for the shutter speed, like I said, I put it on 1/50th. If you're shooting like 30 frames per second, then you do 1/60th. If you're shooting 60 frames per second, then you do 1/20th, because you have to double your frame rate with your shutter speed to get the natural motion blur. And then you're going to see that the white balance is 5600, and I'm just going to keep it like that because I don't want to do auto white balance, so I know my reference point in the beginning. And then from here, I just turn everything off, and then you're going to see normal 10-bit when you first start up, you set up your Osmo Pocket 4. But for me, now we're going to do 10-bit D-Log. And you can see it's flat profile, so we're gonna turn on color recovery, and this is gonna show us kind of what it looks like in post. But in post, you're always gonna see this. Okay, this is just for reference. And the Osmo Pocket 4 doesn't have HLG or DLOG-M anymore. They completely switch to DLOG 10-bit, which is great. I leave the focus mode to continuous, and then breathing compensation, leave that on, and then image adjustment, and we're just gonna give a little bit of the texture -1, because usually Osmo Pocket or smaller sensor cameras have over sharpening, so -1 is good. And then noise reduction, we'll just do -1 as well, so it's not too mushy when it gets low light. And one thing I wanted to showcase is that if you do not want to shoot in D-Log and you just want normal mode, you can definitely just switch this to normal 10-bit, and then you can change your presets or the look into different ones. And then on the left-hand side, you can kind of change the intensity of that look. Usually people go for 30 or 50%, but sometimes if you really like to push the look, 100% is okay as well. That's mostly the video settings. And then now we're just going to go to the camera settings, and let's click the sun icon. And then I usually turn this up, especially if I'm using the Osmo Pocket 4 outside. It helps me see what I'm filming. And then here, rotational speed for the gimbal, I just use it as default. If I want some slow cinematic moves, then I go slow. And then if I want something like sports or like quick movements, then fast is good. And then for the gimbal modes, I usually do follow, tilt locked, or FPV with this little icon. It has all the explanations underneath, so they're pretty straightforward. For here, you have custom buttons. Single press, I put it as gimbal recentered, so it's easier. Double press, we have it as rotate gimbal to face the back. And then triple press is for follow / FPV. So I can switch between modes easily. And then here, which is the Osmo Pocket sounds, whenever you're clicking buttons or something, it's like super loud. So I just put it on mute. And everything else is off for me. This is my reference line. In the Osmo Pocket 4, we now have a 2.35:1 aspect ratio. This is going to show you that cinematic mode that you can crop, and that's what I used in the intro as well. I like shooting with this one because it's wide. It looks like you're shooting an anamorphic, but it's fake. It's just like illusion. And then the grid is also there. You can turn on both at the same time, and then you're gonna see this. You have your classic rule of thirds and then your wide aspect ratio line as well. Okay, so for accessories, it'll differ depending on your workflow, but for me, what is a must is an ND filter, especially when filming in broad daylight. So you can retain the natural motion blur of the image. So I highly recommend getting one. I used to have the official DJI ND filters, but I couldn't find it. Maybe I did leave it in Canada. But yeah, like I said, the Osmo Pocket 3 filters you can always use on the Osmo Pocket 4. I suggest getting the creator combo because you get one DJI Mic 3, tripod stand, fill light, carrying pouch, and a wide angle lens. Basically everything you need to get started. Overall, the DJI Osmo Pocket 4 is a device that sticks to its roots and provides great value for versatile filmmaking. If you're still coming from the Osmo Pocket 1 or Osmo Pocket 2, this is a great leap forward, but if you're rocking the Osmo Pocket 3, maybe a few new features would suit you, maybe not. Only you can tell, and your wallet if you want to upgrade or not. If you have any questions about this new Osmo Pocket 4, let me know in the comments down below. And if you like my colors and want your videos to feel like a movie, everything is on my website. But until then, I will see you in the next video. Peace.